Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Get the comment pinned. Perfect. Now, welcome in, everyone. You are now in the midst of the Scorpio New Moon, which is happening right now at this very moment. If you are here right now, if you're popping in right now, you are meant to be here to listen to this because we're really going to be breaking down what is happening right now, today, the Scorpio New Moon. I'm going to be explaining what's going on with that. I'm going to be explaining what's going on for the rest of the week as well. So welcome in, everyone. If you know anyone who would love to hear the information about the astrology of not only today, but for the week upcoming, please send this over to them. Send them the live stream, send them this on IGTV afterward. But I do suggest that if you are here, you should listen to this right now because these energies are happening right now, today. So, like I said, welcome in, everyone. Appreciate you all for being here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful times ahead. We are actually entering into the last week of Scorpio season. So that's going to be another huge topic that's going to be coming up for this, and a lot of things I'm going to be explaining. For those who have gone to my new moon in Scorpio class last night, I appreciate you for showing up. I was able to give y'all the scoop on how to manifest with your sign, how to look at it with everything else, and like really harness the energy of the new moon. So if you didn't go to that class, I do have a class every new moon and full moon where I'm going to be breaking down what you can do for yourself and your zodiac sign in order to harness the energy the best of. I'll drop in a little bit of tips here in the live stream anyway, but like I said, be sure to check that out. Also check out our other classes and practitioners as well, because we're going to be doing a lot more as far as the classes are concerned. My classes are personally Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. PST. $10 for Zoom session. I go off for a whole entire hour. Those of you who have been in my classes already know how it go. I definitely give you the scoop from beginner to advanced. So without further ado, allow me to start breaking down the energy of today. So the new moon of Scorpio. If you haven't gotten your new moon in Scorpio candle, I suggest if you're in LA, I suggest you run it real quick. If not, you got to make sure that you get the full moon one next time because we're going into eclipse season, which I'll be breaking down a little bit later as well. But as we're going into this energy now, let's talk about what's happening right now as we speak, because that's what we're all waiting for, which is the new moon in Scorpio. So let's talk about Scorpio a little bit, like Scorpio season, I should say a little bit, right? So Scorpio is the sign of fixed water. When I think of Scorpio, I think of ice, fixed water. You're able to hold the sense of water. Scorpio is also co-ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is a planet that's literally ice. It's an ice planet, or there's a lot of ice on that planet, right? So having this form of ice there with this Mars energy that it also has is what makes Scorpio what it is. Therefore, Scorpios are very determined, they're very dynamic, but they're also able to kind of like have the sense of mystery and mystique that you can't really break through, hence the ice analogy in that term, right? So what the Scorpio season's been doing for everyone, right? What Scorpio season is doing is that it's pretty much having us melt the ice that we have in ourselves to then refreeze it in a different way. And I think that's the kind of the way I want to like put it in a sense, right? It's like you're essentially getting into a new sense and a new layer of who you are as a person. And because you're hitting this new sense and layer of who you are as a person, you're actually like breaking through. But in order to break through, you must first break down. You need to actually address the things that are like going on. So if you've been in a funk within this past week especially, the reason why this funk has been happening is because literally like the universe is getting out the last of what doesn't serve you before we enter into Sagittarius season, which is at the end of this week, right? Actually, which is going to be launching us forward with that new sense of identity that we've worked throughout this Scorpio season, right? You've been going through waves. I think a lot of people have been. I think as a collective, we all have literally been going through the waves because Scorpio is about feeling, right? It's about the feelings of what's going on as well. So with that being said, right, the Scorpio season has been pretty intense. The reason why it's been so intense as well is because when you look at the Scorpio season, we started off Scorpio season, everything was fine and dandy. Then Mercury was in Scorpio, And then it went in retrograde in Scorpio. So even if people are like, hey, the Scorpio season has felt like it's gone on for a long time, it's because it has felt like it's gone on for a long time because of this Mercury in Scorpio retrograde that happened, right? Oh, there's hella feelings, hella. Yes. So the reason why these hella feelings are coming up is because you have to like address them in order for you to like come into the power of them. Because what people need to understand is that your feelings aren't your detriment. They are your power. But you need to be able to understand how your feelings operate so you can know the best situations to put yourself in, the best people that you can be around that can respect your truth, and those who are willing to actually take you and who you are to the next level. Like they want to grow with you, right? So that's what's really going on as far as that's concerned. It's like, who wants to be there? Who wants to grow with you? It's been a huge theme coming from Libra into Scorpio season and then moving on into Sag season. So that's kind of what's been happening in regards to that. So back to the new moon. So why is the new moon important now? Well, these last 3 weeks that we've had to kind of sit back and be like, hey, like what's going on in the universe? Hey, like what am I really feeling? A lot of people have been addressing trauma, to be very honest, like to be straightforward. Like a lot of people have been addressing trauma, their relationships to like depressions, anxieties, and everything along the lines of that face first. And that's the reason why it's been so intense, is because it's like you had to like almost stand in the face of everything that's negative inside of you, and then you have to face it. And that's the reason why it's been so like difficult for a lot of people, because once you're able to address this and go against it and then fight through it, then that's when you become that. It's almost like you need to make friends with the dark that's within you, right? Because in order to do that, that's how you integrate things. I know a lot of people are on a wave where it's like love, light, and etc., which is amazing. However, in order for you to actually harness the light that's there, you have to also accept the dark within you and integrate them both. That's the reason why there's the yin and yang symbol. It's because you're supposed to integrate both, little pieces of both. I mean, obviously there's deeper symbolism behind that as well, but that's going to be the overall theme as far as that. It's like, how are you integrating and balancing out those energies in order for you to do it? Know your shadow. Facts. So that's the whole idea behind it. It's like, know your shadow in order for you to embrace your light in the best way possible. Because by integrating both, that's where you're supposed to be at. And that's the reason why Scorpio season has been bringing up so many of these things and these themes in order for us to work through, so we can be in a stronger position for ourselves to manifest greater things. Now, for anyone who's went to my class, I broke down specifically how this is going to happen to you based off of your chart and based off of your energies in your zodiac, right? So like I said, for anyone who hasn't been through or wants to know what's going on every new moon and full moon, please pull up to the classes, because I will be explaining what's happening for you. I pull cards, we talk it through, I break it down, I try to give analogies to make it relate, and that's pretty much the way that those run down. So once again, much shout out, much love for everyone who came through last night. Y'all got the scoop, and I know your manifestations are going to come through like that. So moving on, right? So the next thing I want to talk about, for anyone who doesn't know though, my name is Chad the Maverick. I'm the in-house astrologer here at House of Intuition. I'm going to be dropping down my stuff as far as like where to find me on IGTV and stuff like that. I also run readings and consultations, so please check out my website, chadthemaverick.com. I'm also doing a lot of writing for the blog posts, and I'm doing a lot of things for House of Intuition as well, so make sure you check that out too. So back into the actual fray of everything, right? So this new moon in Scorpio has been making its opportunity. The opportunity that the new moon in Scorpio has been making is, what are you willing to take serious? Like, what are you willing to take serious from a soul level, right? In work, in love, in etc. Like, what are you willing to take seriously as far as like your emotions are concerned? Because your emotions are going to be running the game. So it's like, where are your emotions going to be sitting at? Where are your emotions working through in order to bring you into that next sense of truth, into that next sense of authenticity? Because that's really what's coming through in regards to this, right? Now, one thing I need to mention about today too, because this is all happening today, mind you. So like I said, the new moon in Scorpio is happening today / tonight technically. So later on tonight, like I said, if you have this candle, this is the time to light it. And it can not necessarily be like immediately. It could be within the next 2 to 3 days, whenever you feel comfortable. But I definitely suggest you get on the new moon energy as it happens. I'll be lighting mine later on at some point. But that's basically what's going to be going on as far as that new moon, right? Also, like I said, Venus is making this trine to the North Node. So Venus in Libra, which has been essentially teaching us to learn how to partner with people, learn how to be and go half and half with other people that we care about. It's kind of like the rebalancing act of how we love other people, right? That's what Venus and Libra has been doing. Whereas the North Node is a point of destiny, which I will always explain every time I mention the North Node, because it literally is what shifts the destiny of not just you as an individual, but of the collective all of the time. So with that being said, right, having this Venus in Libra making this trine over to the North Node, it's like what this new moon in Scorpio is doing is that it's like whatever you're taking seriously, whatever you're taking, that is literally pushing your heart forward towards the destiny. So it's like your heart and destiny are working with one another in order to bring you the best thing after this new moon in Scorpio. And that's the reason why this new moon in Scorpio is so important. It's also a super moon, new moon, which is interesting. So the super moon, new moon is just like, imagine a regular new moon, which is the perfect time for manifestations and bringing new things in, times 3, because it's a super moon. So it's like, this is a very important and critical time in order for you to do so. So once again, appreciate y'all who came through to the class. Y'all got the scoop. But this just gives you more incentive to check those out. Literally $10 a piece. It's an hour session. There's no reason. Like, it's great. I always have fun. Everyone has fun. It's a good time. So moving on, right? So that's going to be what's happening today. So mind you, new moon in Scorpio is happening today. So if you know someone who wants to be honest, who wants to know what's going on, please send this over to them just so they can check it out. They can watch it through and get to that, right? The balancing part was what I was mentioning was Venus and Libra making this trine to the North Node today, right? I am going to be saving this live, but you should watch it now if you're here, because this is going to be very relevant to right now. So just to let y'all know. But the time that it's happening is going to technically be 9. Well, right now, pretty much, like literally like right now. That's when I knew when the Scorpio started, is like now. So that's, but like I said, the next 2 or 3 days is going to be the whole cycle of the new moon. So you have that time to work with it. So moving on from today, which is the new moon in Scorpio. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, Mars just went direct. This is very important before I break down the rest of the week. Mars just went direct too. Mars just went direct. So Mars has been in Aries since about March, right? And it went retrograde for the past 2 months. So anything that you've been trying to work on for the last 2 months that you haven't been able to like take off the ground yet, this is the time to start it. This is the time where it's going to start to happen. This is the time where it's going to actually like come into fruition off of the basis if you're willing to work towards it. And the reason why it's so important with Mars and Aries is like, you have to stand up in it and fight it. If you're feeling drained, give it 2 or 3 days, because Mars and Aries is going to revitalize everyone's spirits. So everyone's going to be pushing things forward that they didn't think that they would be able to beforehand. So if you were like trying to like figure out, hey, is this the best thing for me to do here? Is this the best thing for me to do here? What's going to happen is that you're going to just be like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then when you start doing it and when you make that first step is when everything else is going to start to roll in that frame, right? Appreciate it. Anyway, but the whole thing about this, right, is that like that's what's going to be happening in regards to that. So let's move on from this new moon in Aries. New moon in Scorpio. And it's Mars and Aries direct, which are working together to make sure that you bring in the best energy for yourself. So that's pretty much how that's going to be going on with that. So like I said, let's move on to tomorrow. So this new moon in Scorpio energy is pretty much bringing us into the end of Scorpio season. So this is the last bit of real transformation that you can control for yourself in order to bring you into the next best light. And that's what's going to be most critical about this new moon in Scorpio, is that it's going to be literally lasting until the end of the week. That's going to be the whole energy. So whatever you make happen, whatever you like end up bringing into the fray is going to be affecting you not only for the rest of the week, but for the next 6 months of time at the very least. So make sure that you put in your intentions, write them down, say whatever form of prayers that you have, whatever way that you choose to like bring in a new energy into your life. Make up a new way to do it too, because the new moon of Scorpio is also on Aquarius degree. So make sure you bring in a new way, a new unorthodox sense to how you go about this, because that's what's going to be bringing it in and making it beautiful. So moving on to the next day, right? So now we're getting to Sunday. So this energy, like I said, is going to be lasting for the next few days. But on Sunday we have Venus making it square to Pluto, and on Monday, well, this is good Sunday and Monday, we have Venus making it square to Jupiter, right? So what Venus is doing, because after this is this new moon, which is activating this destiny portion, right? What Venus, everyone's heart, the collective hearts of everyone, right? What this is doing is that it's going to be having this I'll say power struggle, because that's what's coming through. Like, this is going to be a power struggle between, it's like, this is what my heart wants, but like, is it really practical? Like, this is what my heart wants, but like, is it really going to be as abundant as I think? And that's the thing. And here's the kicker behind it, is that you need to be able to believe in your heart before your mind gets in the way, before the business of certain things get in the way, because by following your heart in that scenario is what's going to be able to bring you into the state that you want, into the existence in the life that you want as well. So that's what's going to be really coming through as far as like this Venus making it square to Pluto, which is going to be like, are you really ready to transform your heart for real? And then on Monday, the Venus making it square to Jupiter, where it's like, but are you really going to be abundant if you follow your heart? These are the 2 days that you have to look to the universe and be like, yep, this is what I want to do. And you have to know for sure and know that it's coming from here. So if it's coming from here, you're doing great. If it's coming from here, wrong, not good, bad. The reason why I'm going to say that is because, like I said, with the new moon in Scorpio, the Scorpio is all about the emotions. It's all about the feeling. It's all about diving into like what you normally don't like to just come, this normally doesn't like to come out, what you generally try to hide from the world. That's what it's all about. So it's like, if you could take all of those feelings that you have, transmute any of the bad that you might have gone through into whatever is something new. The thing about this energy, right, is that everyone's been through something crappy before, to say the least. Everyone experiences the same. There's a concept called Sonder, and it's pretty much that every person that you ever run across has a life that's as complicated and as pretty much confusing as yours. And because of this reason, people have gone through the same emotional things, whether it be like one thing or one way or another of how the events occurred. Everyone has gone through the same form of emotions, right? Even if it's like a kid can knock down an ice cream cone, and someone can lose their job, and they could feel the same type of feeling at that same time. Just because it's in something different doesn't mean they don't feel the same thing. So this is why it's so important, because it's like, whatever that you've gone through that was negative, that has affected you, that may have been traumatic, that may have been like really on your mind, even if it's something like from way back in the day, what's happening now is that you're in this position to alchemize that, to transform that, to make that a different light, to make that a different space. And because you using the power that you have coming from you, whatever way that you want to do this, is how that's going to be going off. Sonder is Sonder. That's how you spell Sonder, but that's the concept. So if you want to look up the definition of that, do that. Also, is one of my favorite music groups of all time. So check out Sonder. Great music, especially if you have any Scorpio vibes. My favorite. So anyway, right, that's pretty much what's going to be going on as far as that's concerned, right? So that's what's going to be happening Sunday and Monday, is where the universe is pretty much going to be like, so are you really going to be able to do what you love? And you got to do what you love and love what you do. And that's what's going to be bringing you into the next transformation, into the next stages, and into the next sense of power in your life. So now we're going to be going on to Tuesday. Got the club going up on a Tuesday. You probably shouldn't be at the club. We're in a pandemic. But outside of that, basically the whole idea behind Tuesday, right? So Tuesday, we're going into having Mercury giving its opposition to Uranus, right? So with Mercury having its opposition to Uranus, I like how we went dark for a second. One moment, please. So with Mercury having its opposition to Uranus, oh, that's hilarious. Unexpected events. Great, look at that. Unexpected events, right? So there's going to be these different form of energies that pop through that literally give you unexpected events and unexpected frequencies that end up pulling through. Hence, right now as we speak. But the reason why this is so important too is because what this is doing is that this is giving a new perspective on how this energy essentially works, right? So what's happening with this Uranus going, oh, the power in my house is out. There's a whole thing that's going on, but we figuring it out. It's fine. So the whole idea behind this, right, is that, like I said, Mercury going like this opposition to Uranus is that there's going to be new ways and a new frame of how you get to what you need to get done. This has happened already, I believe it was like a month ago, while Mercury was in retrograde. So whatever it was that you ended up sparking off during that time frame, during that Mercury retrograde, whatever idea, whatever genius that came through, where you're like, I need to do that thing. Like, I need to make that thing happen. Whatever that's coming through, that's what you need to go for, and that's what you need to go towards. And because Mars is now direct, like I mentioned, it's time to go get it. It's not time for you to reframe it. It's not time for you to be like, yeah, let me schedule this out. Yeah, let me like make sure that's what Virgo season was for. It's not time for you to be like, hey, do you think I could be able to do this? Like, I think I can do this. That's what Libra season was for, figuring that out. Now we're in Scorpio season, and the last week is Scorpio season. Now it's about, you know what? It's time for me to integrate this and make it happen. You know what I mean? So it's like, whatever ends up coming up, whatever randomness comes up in that process, you know what I mean? And the reason why it's so interesting that the light went out is because Uranus is literally about electricity. Like, Uranus is about electricity. Uranus is literally the lightning strike of epiphany that ends up coming through for everyone, right? So, like I said, with that lightning strike of epiphany coming through, how are you going to get yourself out of the dark of your own mind? Ooh, quote me on that. Quote me on that. That sounds, ooh. Anyway, but that's pretty much what's going on as far as that's concerned, right? So now we're going to be moving on to Wednesday. Before I break down Wednesday, I'm going to say one more time, I do run the classes every week. I have Monday and Wednesdays now. So next Monday, we're going to be talking about how your astrology can have you pick out the perfect crystal. And on Wednesday, on Wednesdays moving on and moving forward, I'm going to be essentially doing core level astrology, where I break down the planets. So they're doing the sun and the moon, I believe this upcoming Wednesday, and I'm going to be breaking down how those two luminaries work for you. And this is going to be great for anyone who's a beginner, just trying to figure out what the sun and moon works like, and someone who's advanced, who like knows a lot of astrology. The way I break it down is that it's going to be able to be utilized and known on every layer and every tier. I really do my best to like make sure it's explained so everyone can get the picture. But that's what's going to be coming up this upcoming week and moving forward. So not only myself, be sure that you check out Patty, be sure that you check out Ryan, and also check out Bree's Crystal Talks on Thursday. The other two teachers, they teach practical magic, and we're adding more and more as things are going on. So please make sure you stay tuned. All my classes are personally up from now until the end of the year, so be sure to look at that. Like I said, Monday and Wednesday time frame. Please pull up. Please pull up. You know how it goes if you've been to a class. We get down. So moving on, like I said, let's go to Wednesday. So Wednesday, it's upcoming Wednesday, we have the sun making a sextile to Saturn. So what this is doing, right, is that it's like, okay, now that we're ending off Scorpio season this week. So now at the end of the Scorpio season, what the universe is pretty much being like, is like, okay, what are you bringing from the Scorpio season with you? Like, what are you bringing with you? What have you transmuted? What have you brought past? What have you gotten through already, right? And what do you need to continue to work on, or what do you need to bring into this light? And that's what Saturn is going to be working with in Capricorn, before at least Capricorn, for the last time in a very long time. I think it's 30 years. So literally, so Saturn in Capricorn at its highest place, right? It's going to be that. We're on Wednesday right now. This is also going to be on the IGTV for House Intuition. But if you're here right now, please stay here right now, because this is going to be very important. So we're on Wednesday right now. So the sun is, like I said, sun and Saturn, it's basically like the last G-check of Saturn being like, hey, so you ready to master your life or not? And you got to be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, pretty much, like, you got to be like, yep, let's do it. This is going to be an important day, because if you're not like, yeah, let's do it, you might be underneath that energy instead of stepping up to it. So if there's a time frame on this Wednesday where you get the chance to step up into something, so this is the type of thing where it's like, let's say like you're at work, and at work, You know, you've been just doing your thing, whatever the case may be. And this is the day where you're like, one of your bosses are like, you know, you've been working pretty good. Do you want this promotion? And it might be a job that you might think is outside of your like category or outside of your specialty or outside of your skill level. It's like, are you going to take the leap? Because you've been working this whole Scorpio season on how you work and how you do things, right? Are you going to take the leap forward and go for that thing, crystallize that thing, and really make things happen? Or are you going to be scared and be like, no, I'm going to stay where I'm at? Because if you're scared and you're like, no, I'm comfortable here, this, that, and that, the universe is not going to reward you with more abundance, more, like, it's not going to. You need to be able to take the step and take the leap, even if you're afraid at the time. Because being, like, afraid just shows how much that you care about being in the best state, being in the best light. That's one thing too. If you ever get nervous before doing something, that's usually in my mind is a good thing, because that means that you actually care about it. And that's what this Scorpio season is trying to like bring to us. What do we actually care about? And what is just hearsay from other people? What do we actually want to mend with, connect with, and what's just what everyone else is saying, so we need to follow it because everyone else is saying it? That's not how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be what is resonating with your soul first. Soul first. And that's what this Wednesday's doing. It's like, what's working with your soul, whatever you're working on with your soul, you're going to have an opportunity to crystallize in real life. You get what I'm saying? I'm a Sagittarius, by the way. I'm going to be talking about that all Sagittarius season, so don't you worry. But basically, right, that's pretty much how that's supposed to be going as far as that is concerned. And once more, if anything in here works or like resonates with you, please send it to somebody else. Like, just send it over. Like I said, it's going to be on IGTV. Like, comment, show love. Chad the Maverick if you want to find me, anything that I do. So it's pretty much that. So now we're going on from Wednesday. We're going to be moving on to Thursday, right? So this Thursday, mind you, this is the closing out of the Scorpio season. So Thursday and Friday is basically what I'm about to cover right now. I'm going to be back live again at the same time on Saturday of next week, breaking down what's happening at the start of Sagittarius season. Like I said, y'all going to hear from me about Sagittarius season. Don't you worry. A lit and beautiful season is ahead. But the whole idea, right, behind this upcoming Thursday is that, like I said, on Wednesday is like, what are you willing to take serious? And on Thursday, your heart's going to have that one last question. Like that one last question. You know, like when you're going through something and it's like you're done with it, but then like there's a feeling inside that's like, but wait, but what if? And you have to like just shut it up, because it's like, no, like no, we're not doing it. That's the type of energy that's going on for that day, where it's like, oh, but like, what about this? And like, oh, you could do this. It's like, no, bad. Like, we're not doing that. And like I said, with you making all this, that's why the new moon in Scorpio today, which is happening. So please make sure you do whatever intention, manifestations. If you have this candle, this is your time to light it. And be sure that you grab the other ones as well, right? I'm tired of these heart questions. By next week, you will not have the same questions, because then you're going to just be following your heart. But this is the last week to reframe and really tap into that energy, so you can know what it is that you want to push forward with the Sagittarius arrow, shooting forward in whatever direction that you choose. So, like I said, this last week of Scorpio season, before this is the last minute, right? Before I go. But with the last bits of the Scorpio season, how are you going to accept your emotions in order for you to transform into the best version of yourself, accept the higher facets of yourself, and accept the lower facets of yourself? And how are you going to find a balance between the two as you transform into the next stage of who you are as a person? And that's what this new moon is about. So please manifest for yourself what is going to be like the best sense of magic you can come into. And whatever that ends up being for you is whatever it needs to be for you. So don't have to check on someone else. What are they doing for this? What are you doing for this? What are you doing for it? That's what's going to be making the biggest difference and be creating the best opportunity in life for yourself, for you, not only the next week upcoming, but for the next 6 months. So that is that. That is going to be the live stream for the day. Thank you so much for showing up to this live stream. Once more, I have my classes on Monday and Wednesday. Imagine me running down the same type of information in depth for an hour. Only $10. Sounds like a deal to me. Anyway, but outside of that, though, much love to you all. And until next time, have a great one. Have a blessed new moon. And hope everything that you end up manifesting comes true. Chad the Maverick is my stuff. It'll be on this thing too. Anyway, have a great one, everyone. Till next time.